Hey everybody, Phil Clemente here, Air Filtration Solutions. Hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk about pleated filters and my personal issues that I have with pleated filters. It's not just one brand, it's not just one model, one manufacturer. It's all of them. And these pictures right here, you could see that's two different manufacturers. You have some from one of the more recognized, biggest companies in the air filter industry. And then the other one, maybe they're not as recognized as the top brand, but the bottom brand still is a big player. But yet, look at the results from both. And that is because, like I've been sharing with you, all these pleated filter uh, distributors or providers, the manufacturers that they get them from, they all buy their materials to assemble their products from the same sources. Now, years ago, when I first got into this industry, uh, almost a little over 3 decades ago, there were like a dozen sources that would supply all the materials. So there was bidding and all that going on. And now, all these years later, we're down to maybe two sources that are enjoying this incredibly lavish industry of air filters. Uh, but to end users, this is unacceptable. This performance, especially healthcare facilities, which I've been dealing with almost my whole career, so I understand the severity of this. This is just unacceptable when it comes to healthcare facilities, but unfortunately, this happens all the time anywhere pleated filters are being used. If it's not collapsing or buckling like you see there on the bottom, it's mold and it's something. It's something. They're going to succumb to something, whether it's, and it doesn't have to be that they're exposed to moisture. In some air handlers, just the air velocity, the airflow itself, after a couple weeks, these filters collapse and buckle and they expose coils, and then coils become contaminated, which affects so many aspects of your operation costs, from labor and materials to energy consumption or energy dollars. It's just so important to research your HVAC filters and see how they perform, not only in a controlled environment test lab, but in the real workplace where the environment is everything but controlled. There's not a lot of distributors, if any, will talk about that. I do. Air Filtration Solutions does, because we understand the effect that it has on filters and how that has an effect on performance ultimately for the end user. Now let's move on. Let me show you this here. Now with Fiberbond's links and panels, you get a complete seal once installed. Whether it's a side access, like these side access applications, here where you have vertical, or here where you have V-bank. But you can see right here, you could see from end to end, you have a complete seal, both around where they meet the frame, and there's no individual filters, so in between you got a complete seal. And that itself, if you were to do that, get filters that do that, you're going to improve your filtration. Now I know there are some of you out there that have used conventional links and panels and were not happy with the results. I understand that. That was not Fiberbond products. Fiberbond products performs totally differently than any of our competitors. And the reason for that is because Fiberbond is a true manufacturer. You have to remember that. They're a true manufacturer. What I mean by that is Fiberbond, they purchase their raw fibers, high quality raw fibers, and they have their own manufacturing method, their own production method of formatting their filtration media. And nobody, not even, I've been working with Fiberbond products or Fiberbond Corporation for over 30 years. I don't even know the method. But I do know this. I know I have never seen another line of products of these types that performs nearly as well as Fiberbond products. Fiberbond dust lock links and panels, or the 1540s, which is what you see here, the 1540s. These are the dust lock links and panels. All of Fiberbond's filters are impervious to moisture and repel molds and spores. So with pleated filters, yes, you have a criteria where you have to change them every 3 months, every quarter, because they're so vulnerable to the elements in which they're exposed, such as moisture. Moisture is an element that is commonly found in almost all HVAC systems. Yet, why do we keep using pleated filters? I don't get it. But for anybody out there who wants to stretch their dollars to get more for their money, to get superior products, superior filtration in front-loading applications. See here? You have your pleated filter, and then you have our dust lock panel. Look right here. Look where the pleated filter, it's in the holding frame, and you could see the gap. And then look at ours. Look at ours here. Look all the way around where the media comes in contact with the holding frame. You don't have any gaps. You got a complete seal. Look at the pleated filters. All the way. Gap. And some people, maybe those gaps are seem irrelevant, but over a short amount of time, you will see your coils become contaminated, inefficient, starts affecting indoor air quality in a negative manner, airflow. It's the first domino to a domino effect of costly consequences when it could easily be avoided simply by choosing a competent line of HVAC filters. Now remember this? Look familiar? Now, if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I came across this picture on LinkedIn's newsfeed. It was a post from a mechanical contractor, I believe somewhere in the Arizona area. I don't know who manufactures these filters. I mean, nowadays, you go to a different state, city out there, and you'll find pleated filters you never knew the manufacturer existed. So many have popped up within the last decade or so, just starting their own production. But the thing is they all purchase the materials from the same source, which is why you get the exact same results from any brand. Even the top brands, you get the exact same result, which is what I shared with you in the beginning of this post. So if it's not the bypass, if it's right here, it's just inadequate performance, period. It's just inadequate performance. You've got the squares, you see them here in the pleated filter, all these squares, that is darker than the grid areas. And that's because that where you see the grid outline, that's because air was obstructed around that area of the coils, which is why they're cleaner. That's what you're seeing. They're actually cleaner than the air that passed through the filter material of the pleated filters. So that right there, all pleated filters are just incompetent. They're not good enough for our healthcare facilities. In my opinion, for any facilities, let alone healthcare facilities, hospitals, or medical office buildings. I mean, these are the results you get with pleated filters. Right here, look at that. And that's common. It's common for engineers to have coils cleaned every 6 months, every year or so. I have a client for 12 years now. Upon our arrival, had all his air handlers cleaned professionally, coils, everything clean, and we immediately installed our filters, our Fiberbond, the Cube, MERV 11 Polyshield Cubes as pre-filters, and then our multi-wedge 95s as final filters. And in 12 years, they haven't had the need to have their coils cleaned. In 12 years. That's unheard of with conventional products. On top of that, they repel mold, spores, unaffected by moisture, repel moisture. Easier for your engineers to handle and manage filtration. They last longer, work better. And nowadays, when we need to stretch our dollars, we all need to save money. Costs are outrageous. Fiberbond products, you can invest in their products, actually invest in superior filtration and lower your costs at the same time in materials. Find another vendor that can do that, can do all that for you, that can guarantee to give you all that. And I invite you to use their product. But if not, we're here and we can help you. Just reach out, send me an email, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to talk filtration with you, to share my 30 plus years of experience. If you want to see more documentation, get on our website, look at past posts here on LinkedIn. I share it all with you. Hope it helps. Take care.